Hail to the king, baby.
Tiger uppercut. Perfect.
Winner, Sheen dinner.
Excellent.
Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to the Boring Company. Hope you're all well today. So, I wanted to talk about this article because it fascinates me, and I think there's some important key information that you should all know. I know it, but you should all know it, and it should sit in your mind for the next 18 months or so. Well, first of all, we've got this gentleman here, Joe Lonsdale, who's pitched a project in Austin. Now, this apparently was separate to the Boring Company proposal that was made in Texas, which surprises me. What we know about Joe is that he is an investor in the Boring Company, and he obviously is a major player in Palantir. I know very little about Palantir. I've watched a few videos on YouTube, but from what's been said, they are a big deal. And obviously, it is run by Peter Thiel, or Peter Thiel is one of the key players at Palantir. So it's garnering a lot of attention, and this person is obviously kind of interlinked between Palantir and the Boring Company, and it looks like he's been developing some land with his firm in Austin, and he's an entrepreneur, so he's looking for opportunities, and he thinks that he can not only increase the value of his holdings in the Boring Company, but also do some property deals and make some considerable returns. So let's see what the article actually says. So less than a year after Palantir co-founder Joe moved to Austin during the pandemic, the venture capitalist got on the phone with Texas Capital, then mayor, and pitched him on a deal that would transform a key part of the city's infrastructure and also happen to benefit one of his investments. See how that's interlinked? Over the phone call and in subsequent email correspondence, Lonsdale suggested starting small. He and some of his friends would pay for a 1 mile, $6 million to $7 million underground tunnel system built by Elon Musk's Boring Company that would connect his friends' land around the town. He said that the initial mile-long tunnel could spark interest from leadership for a citywide tunnel system that the Boring Company could ultimately build in the partnership with the city, and a pitch deck he sent after the call. So he's very prepared for this. If he's made a pitch deck and he's forcefully going in there with the mayor and kind of throwing this in front of him, then he's very, very keen for this to happen. So I don't know how he went through this with the Boring Company. It doesn't quite say in this article, but it looks to me like he's trying to get the ball rolling, as it were, and he wants to do it in his way. So what else is it saying in this article? It's a great article, by the way. I'll put the link in the comments below. I want to learn what it takes to permit a tunnel to get going that my friend and I help sponsor between various land we own here. So he owns the land, he has a stake in that. It's not just he's helping his friend out. Just to show it off and inspire our leaders and others how fast and affordable this can be. Lonsdale wrote in an email to Steve Adler, the email as well as the pitch deck put together by him and other people at Lonsdale's venture capital firm 8VC was obtained by Fortune as part of a Freedom of Information Act request. Lonsdale said there would be 2 sites for the stations above ground that would be about 1/10 of an acre each. So obviously where the vehicles come up, we know from what we've seen on previous jobs is a small area. So a tenth of an acre actually seems a little bit bigger than it should be. Very deep underground. I don't know how he's defining very deep. I mean, if someone said to me a tunnel was very deep, in my mind that would be 200-300 meters below ground. So I think that he's not the greatest terminology. He's probably thinking maybe 40, 30 meters deep. A small tunnel that would not interfere with anything or be heard when being built. I'm pretty sure you would hear it, but hey. Lonsdale, a boring company investor, laid out more details in the pitch deck on what could ultimately become a tunnel commuter system to be developed in 2 phases. Why don't we just call it mass transit? Because, it's silly. But, who cares? The first would be a 34-mile tunnel with 8 stations connecting Austin's International Airport, Q2 Stadium to downtown hotspots. The second phase would add another 278 miles. I mean, that's absolutely crackers. Expanding into the surrounding suburbs with 37 additional stations. So think of the value of that. If you're paying 5, 6, maybe slightly under $7 million per mile, that's certainly going to add up. While the proposed 45-station tunnel systems are clearly described as infrastructure, it would be fine if this became part of public projects later that might end up covering our costs. This is a big proposal, really big proposal. I very much doubt that he has even looked at financing this, but the fact that he would propose it is quite intriguing. Here's kind of sketch of the route itself. As you can see, it goes off in all directions. Even goes to the Tesla Gigafactory, Georgetown, somewhere called Buda, Dripping Springs, Baylor Scott and White Medical Center, Ascension Seton Hayes Hospital. So it's a very expansive network. This would make a considerable difference to congestion in the local area, and it would definitely be a very, very useful project, and I'm pretty confident the Boring Company could do this because the ground conditions in Austin, Texas specifically, are really good. The chalk that exists about 70 foot down is perfect for boring. Not too hard, not too soft, relatively unfractured. The water table is not in there. It's not kind of saturated with water. In fact, it's almost too dry. It's the perfect place. So rather than read the rest of this article, let's Lonsdale disclosed that he was investing in the Boring Company's pitch deck to the mayor, but also noted that he was making his pitch as a concerned citizen. I'm sure you are, mate. And that the deck was not an official document published by the Boring Company because he wants to kind of do this on the side. Documents show Lonsdale's slides peg the estimated cost of the 2 phases of a Boring Company build out at $304 million for that small initial phase, and then $2.3 billion for the final stage. So that's coming in at just under 10 million a mile, isn't it? Although I'm assuming that that's a dual bore system, so it would probably be coming in at under 5. What was the length again? 200 and... where was it? Come on. Anyway, I can't see it now. I must be blind. It was around 240 odd miles, wasn't it? So 2.3 billion. That's actually very, very competitive indeed. I'd be surprised if it's that low. That's in fact, I'd say that if you include stations as well, I think that's he's undercosted that by at least 30%. The Boring Company sent in a separate pitch deck around the same time. Notice how it's a pitch rather than an actual, solid proposal. Okay, so In the slide proposing that his friends would pitch in land to the project, Lonsdale described the unnamed participating landowners as citizens who were ready to help themselves make some money. We have gathered a growing group of successful citizens who are invested in protecting our city's culture, cost of living and the environment, the slide reads. Adler said that he was glad that Lonsdale was interested and had taken the time to put forth a plan. It takes some effort to do that, he said, and most people don't put forth that effort, so I was pleased that he did it. Okay, fascinating project, proposal. Very intriguing that this person is attempting to do this in addition to what the Boring Company's proposed. I'm not sure how that's come about. Almost like they have different ideas about what they want to do. But here's kind of the key point that I wanted to make. This won't happen. The reason is, at least it's not going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. The main reason it's not going to happen is that Austin are already building up a massive mass transit scheme, and they have already put billions into that, and they don't want to enable competition for that scheme. They really don't. So these plans that have been proposed are dead in the water. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that someone could propose some plans that maybe go into areas that don't already have these new mass transit links. That might work, but the main reason that this is not going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years is the Boring Company simply does not have the resources to do this project and the Las Vegas Loop. The Las Vegas Loop is a humongous scheme, very complex, lots of stakeholders, lots of casinos, lots of utility lines, very complex. They're going to be using 4, 5, maybe even 6 TBMs at the same time. These all need to be manned. They need to manufacture these TBMs. They need to test them at their site in Rathrop. The Boring Company, it operates on a shoestring budget. It really does. I would go as far as to say it is understaffed and under-resourced, even today, with them essentially working on 2 tunnels at a time. They're going to need to massively upscale their hiring and invest some serious money to build the infrastructure in Las Vegas. They're not going to be going to Austin and doing a project simultaneously. They'll need to build out the vast majority of Las Vegas before they come here, and I just think it's a bit premature for people to come out separate to the Boring Company and then propose these types of schemes, because quite frankly it's just not going to happen. It's too ambitious, and I'm sure this man aims for the sky and everything that he does, but this was just an impossibility. The Boring Company needs more people. It needs more tunnel operators. It needs more people with experience in mining. It needs more people, with experience in manufacturing things, specifically TBMs. It needs more project managers. It needs people for costing, quantity surveyors. It needs actual physical surveyors out on the ground doing things for them. It's understaffed in every single area, and it's under-resourced. And I'm sure Elon Musk knows this, but he's spinning a lot of plates at the moment with Twitter and Neuralink and Tesla, and the Boring Company needs a serious injection of cash, and it needs to. I know it is definitely hiring more and more people. That's great to see, but it needs to double, triple the number of people it is hiring, so that it can do the Las Vegas project and then later on jump onto something similar to this, and do the projects in Florida that it's trying to do at this very moment in time. In fact, I'm pretty confident one of those projects is going to fall through, and then they will focus their efforts on the other one, because they simply don't have the resources. And we've got to be realists. We've got to accept that the Boring Company is still a startup. It doesn't have the resources of, a Robbins or a Heron Connect or all these other people, or an established US contractor. It started basically from nothing, less than 5 years ago. So the Boeing company needs to think big. It needs to hire big. It needs to invest big. And it probably needs to raise some more money. And this is simply not going to happen. As great as this proposal is, I did enjoy reading about it. It's too early. And maybe we will explore this project again on this channel in 18 months or so. But I severely doubt it. Okay, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed my kind of realistic expectations for the Boeing company. If you agree or disagree, tell me in the comments below. Please consider following me on Twitter, joining our Discord server where this article came from. Someone actually posted this on the Discord and I read it and I thought, yeah, let's do a video about this. And if you would be so kind, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Okay, everyone, have a lovely day. Take care now and don't be boring.
Hadouken! Come get some.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning a demon. You gotta take big chances in order for the potential for